Eala just walked onto the clay courts of Rome, and nothing about her game looked the same. She trained where legends are made. She hit with the king of clay himself, and now the Italian Open is about to feel every single second of it. She had been written off. 3 straight early exits on clay, a 6-1, 6-2 loss in Madrid that left fans questioning everything. But nobody saw what was happening behind closed doors. The secret sessions, the quiet revolution, the fire that Rafael Nadal reignited in a 20-year-old from the Philippines. And now, at the Foro Italico, Rome is about to find out. She was 4 years old when she first held a tennis racket. Not in Spain, not on the red clay courts of Majorca, in Quezon City, Philippines, a place where tennis is not a religion, not a culture, not even a common conversation. But her grandfather, Roberto Maniego, handed her that racket anyway, and something clicked. Something that would take years, continents, and thousands of hours to fully understand. Alexandra Maniego Eala, Alex to the world, was not handed a destiny. She built one, piece by piece, on courts across Asia, then Europe, then the whole world. By 2017, she was already ranked at the top of the Asian Tennis Federation rankings. At 13 years old, she packed her bags and moved to Spain, alone, far from family, far from everything she had known, to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Majorca. Just a teenager following a dream that most people thought was too big for someone from the Philippines. Think about that for a second. A 13-year-old girl crossing oceans, betting everything on a sport her country had never produced a world-class player in. No template, no blueprint, no one to tell her it was possible because it had never been done before. But she stayed. She learned Spanish. She absorbed the clay courts, the grueling training blocks, the culture of excellence that the Nadal Academy was built on. She graduated from the academy in 2023, and by March 2026, at just 20 years old, she had reached a career-high WTA singles ranking of world number 29, making her the highest-ranked Filipino in WTA Tour history. The first Filipino to break into the top 30, the first to have multiple wins over top 10 players, the first to reach a tour-level final, the first. Every chapter of her career has carried that word with it, and every time she steps onto a court, an entire nation steps with her. At the 2025 Miami Open, she walked in as a wild card nobody was watching. She walked out as a sensation, beating Grand Slam champions Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek before reaching the semifinals. She had gone from the outside looking in to standing inside the conversation of the sport's elite. And in 2026, she carried that momentum further. Indian Wells, round of 16. Miami, round of 16 again. A career-high ranking, a prize money total already crossing $500,000 in 2026 alone. She was no longer a rising star. She was a rising force. But then came the clay. And clay, as she would painfully discover, has a way of humbling even the most brilliant players in the world. But here's the thing nobody is talking about. Before Rome, something happened, something private, something that may have just changed everything. The European clay season began in early April 2026, and from the outside, it looked like Eala was ready. She had trained hard, she was climbing the rankings, and the momentum from her hardcourt season felt undeniable. But clay is a different animal. Clay slows the ball down, extends the rallies, demands footwork that hardcourts never test in the same way. It rewards patience. It punishes impatience. And for Eala, it would become, at least for a few weeks, an unforgiving teacher. First stop, Linz, Austria, the Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open, a 500-level event on indoor red clay. Eala entered as the 7th seed, a position that reflected real respect within the draw. She won her opener, pushed through early rounds with purpose, and looked sharp. But then came Jelena Ostapenko in the round of 16, and Ostapenko on clay is a very different kind of problem. Eala fell. Round of 16 exit. A decent result, but one that left questions hanging in the air. Then, Stuttgart, the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix, a prestigious 500-level event in Germany, one of the crown jewels of the spring clay circuit. And there, in the first round, she lost to Leylah Fernandez, a player she had beaten before, a player she knew, on a surface that theoretically should not have been completely foreign to her. Round of 32, gone. Then, Madrid, the Mutua Madrid Open, a WTA 1000, one of the biggest events on the entire calendar. Eala opened with a 6-3, 6-3 victory over Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, a veteran with 12 Grand Slam appearances. It felt like a statement. It felt like the beginning of something. But then came Elise Mertens in the second round, and the scoreline told a story that nobody in the Philippines wanted to read. 6-2, 6-1. Dominated. Overwhelmed. Over in barely an hour. 3 tournaments. 3 clay surfaces. 3 early exits. She was winning one match and losing the next. The pattern was not just disappointing, it was alarming. And the numbers confirmed it. Eala had won only twice in her last 5 matches heading into Italy. Her ranking had slipped from that career high of number 44 back to number 44, a painful reminder that in tennis, momentum is everything, and losing it costs you more than points. After the Madrid doubles loss, where she and partner Zeynep Sonmez fell to the world-class pair of Katerina Siniakova and Taylor Townsend, Eala took a few days in Madrid. She walked around the city, she breathed, and then she made a decision. She withdrew from the WTA 125 Catalonia Open. In tennis, skipping a tournament is always noticed, but this time the reason behind the withdrawal was more important than the withdrawal itself. She wasn't resting. She wasn't retreating. She was going back to Mallorca. She was going back to the place where she had become who she is. She was going back to the Rafa Nadal Academy. And what happened in those sessions, what she experienced in Mallorca before Rome, is the story that changes everything you think you know about Alex Eala's clay season. Imagine walking onto a clay court in Mallorca, Majorca. The Mediterranean air, the red dust rising with every footfall, the silence of a facility built specifically to produce greatness. Now imagine that at the net, waiting for you to begin, is Rafael Nadal, the greatest clay court player in the history of the sport. 22 Grand Slam titles, 14 French Open trophies, a player who turned clay into his personal empire for 2 decades. This was not a dream. This actually happened for Alex Eala. In the preseason ahead of 2026, Eala had been recorded in a hitting session with Nadal himself at the Academy, and at the Laureus World Sports Awards in Madrid, where she arrived dazzling in a traditional Filippiana dress designed by her uncle, fashion designer Rhett Eala, she opened up about what that experience was really like. "I was super locked in," she said, "and it was the first time he had hit in so long. I was really tired after the practice. Rafa's intensity never goes away, and that's one of the things that everyone looks up to him for, his work ethic and intensity. So to be able to feel that firsthand was really great." Read those words again. Rafa's intensity never goes away. This is a man who is retired, who has stepped away from professional competition, and yet when he steps back onto a clay court, the fire is still there. And Eala felt it. She didn't just watch it from a distance. She felt it in her body, in her lungs, in her legs after the session. That is the kind of lesson no coaching manual can teach you. And she didn't stop there. Beyond Rafael Nadal himself, Eala has been deeply shaped by the presence of Tony Nadal, Rafael's uncle and the legendary coach behind so much of Rafa's greatness, within her coaching structure at the Academy. His experience on clay, built over decades at the highest level, has been woven into her preparation during the critical moments of her season. "We worked a lot on feeling the ball and moving well," Eala shared ahead of the clay season. "I think I'm moving better than I did last year, so yeah, I'm happy about that." Moving better on clay is not a small thing. Clay movement, the split-step timing, the sliding, the recovery after wide balls, is one of the most technical and physically demanding aspects of the entire sport. Players spend years developing it, and Eala, in targeted sessions in Mallorca, was grinding on exactly those details. Her coaching team, Joan Bosch and Sandro Vallan for tennis and Luc Bauza for fitness, had mapped out a precise plan. This was not random preparation. This was surgical. "I think we're a really well-oiled machine," Eala said of her team, "and we get along super well." After Madrid, she returned to that machine. The Instagram stories from the Rafael Nadal Academy showed her back on the clay courts, moving deliberately, huddling with her coaches. Not defeated, not broken, recalibrated. And when she spoke about her idol, the man whose academy she has called home since she was 13 years old, the words she chose told you everything about her mindset going into room. "Anything I can take from Rafa, I'll take with pride." That is not the mindset of someone who is struggling. That is the mindset of someone who is about to surprise people. And now, she's in Rome. The Foro Italico, one of the most iconic clay venues on the planet. And what she's walking into might be the biggest moment of her young career. The 2026 Italian Open, the Internazionale BNL d'Italia, is the 83rd edition of a tournament that has been played on the red clay of the Foro Italico since tennis history was still being written. This is not just any tournament. This is a WTA 1000 event, the second highest tier below the Grand Slams. Every point here matters. Every match here reverberates. And the draw that came out for 2026 was anything but easy. The top 8 seeds read like a who's who of the current women's game. Aryna Sabalenka at number 1, the world's best player, hunting for revenge after a stunning quarterfinal exit in Madrid. Elena Rybakina at number 2. Coco Gauff at number 3. Iga Swiatek at number 4, a player who has won this tournament 3 times, a clay specialist who knows every inch of the Foro Italico. Jessica Pegula, Amanda Anisimova, Elina Svitolina, and Mira Andreeva rounding out the top 8. And defending champion Jasmine Paolini, the hometown hero, waiting in the lower bracket with the entire Italian crowd behind her. Into this field walks Alex Eala, ranked number 42 in the WTA rankings. Her opening match, Magdalena Frech of Poland, ranked number 45, a player who had reached the 3rd round of this very tournament in 2025, a player who carries real clay court pedigree. There is no easy path in Rome. Alex Eala walked into 2026 as one of the most exciting young players in women's tennis. She trained where legends are forged. She hit with the king of clay. She absorbed wisdom that most players only read about in books. And now she is standing at the gates of the Italian Open, ranked number 42 in the world with unfinished business on clay and everything to prove. 3 early exits couldn't stop her. The scorelines in Stuttgart and Madrid couldn't break her. Because the girl who moved to Mallorca at 13 to chase an impossible dream doesn't break easily. Rome is waiting, the clay is laid, and Alex Eala, the pride of the Philippines, is ready to write the next chapter. If this story gave you chills even once, hit that subscribe button right now because we cover women's tennis like nobody else. The drama, the emotion, the rivalries, and the moments that the highlights don't show you. Subscribe, drop your prediction for Eala's Italian Open run in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.